I didn't certainly expect to end up being a CEO of a major nonprofit in Washington, D.C. That was never my goal. And I'm not sure I would have told you it would have been in the field, in that particular field. I think it was probably, I don't know whether it was so much me creating it or whether it was me having the courage to jump through windows or doors when they opened, and not necessarily knowing what was going to be on the other side.
Okay.
I didn't do what I started out to do, so it was a lot of sort of decision-making along the way, rather than staying sort of on track. It was a matter of sort of different doors opening up and different personal situations happening, and sort of making decisions that I thought were best for me at the time and moving forward on them. I had started out in a degree in college to do basically social welfare work, and decided that wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. So changed and ended up in architectural history, and then worked in that directly for a while, and then worked in community engagement for a while, and then those things kind of fell together, and that brought me to Washington, here to D.C., and worked all over the country for a firm here, and then ended up working all over the world for another firm. I mean, it's just been sort of, there certainly wasn't a path that I stayed on. But I think it's been a matter of doing the best you can where you are, and being able to sort of change directions or focus when you realized you were either at a dead end or that you had greater opportunity someplace else. And then trying to make, your skills fit into that. I've been very fortunate that I had people around me who either as early on as bosses or job supervisors or so forth that either encouraged me to do that or allowed me the flexibility to do that. And then later, it was a matter of recognizing that I had people who were a step or two above me that weren't going anywhere and moving on. Sometimes you are fortunate to have the sort of a power structure who are there to help you and encourage you and mentor you, and other times they're not, and you have to make a decision about that and move on. My grandmother and my mother, both of them were sort of fearless, and they just loved life. If there was an opportunity to go do something, they were going to go do it. It didn't matter that they had never done it before. So they were, I think they gave me the courage and the confidence to be who I am. But it was just this sort of joy of life that they shared with their family and their friends, living life to the fullest. I know that sounds sort of cliche, but that was very inspiring. They set a model or a tone that allowed you to say, gosh, I can jump off this cliff if I want to. Might not know it's bottom, but it's going to be all right, They both were very gracious. If they loved you, you knew it. There was nothing quiet about that. I used to say, it was funny because my mother went to church every Sunday. But I used to say my mother went to church every Sunday, but she never carried a Bible. She just lived it. And that was true. She was generous and fair and just everything you want to have that model to be. I'm really impressed with this younger generation. I see them. I live about 5 blocks from an elementary school, and often when I drive by, it's the fathers who are bringing their children to school, or taking them home from school. As more women have become the breadwinners, more men have, I think, had the, quote, luxury of staying at home and being the dad. I just think they're more attuned. I think they probably always had these, that sort of sensitivity or that sort of responsibility. I think my generation and the generation before me, put a different of responsibility on them. They had to be the breadwinner. They had to be at work all the time. They had to, and women took the other side of that role. And as we've become, not that we're equal yet, in many ways, in salaries and other sorts of things, but as we've shifted that, I think we've given them the opportunity to explore and find those parts of themselves. And I'm really encouraged by that. But we celebrate Men's History all year round. There isn't a Men's History Month because we do it all year round. All you have to do is open a history book. Because that's how we've taught history for years and years and years. And until we get to a better place where, we all have had a role in the history of the world and in the history of this country. And until we're willing to talk about that in a broader way, then you're going to continue to have Women's History Month. We need to be really alert to what we have, and we need to be ready to fight for that. Stand up, be who you are, be proud of that, have confidence in who you are. But I don't think you have to give up being a lady. I don't think those two things are separate. Or be feminine if you choose to be. I think you can wear makeup. I think you can wear a pretty dress. I think you can be as feminine as you want to and still be a damn good CEO. Be proud, be confident, move forward. You need to stand up for yourself and those around you.